Good Saturday morning and welcome again to the starting lineup. I'm Tony Curry along with Keefer and of course the legend.
We're back.
Yes, Speaks joined us last week, did a fantastic job here from ABC 3340. He's a legend, has been doing it for nearly 50 years. He's just fantastic when it comes to sports. We held up our end of the bargain. You guys did a fine job as well because I understand you're down in the Grapefruit League down there in beautiful FLA. Man. How was your trip?
It was awesome. You can't believe all the spring training sites, what the resources have been put into these great places, new stadiums, all kinds of amenities. It's really fantastic, and we're going to have a little clip for you coming up on the show. Just a couple brief highlights of Legend and I's trip around the west coast of Florida.
I understand there was also some interesting clubs there outside the ballpark, or actually it was part of the ballpark, is that right?
Yeah, there's a gentleman's club at the Braves complex.
I don't think it's real scandalous, but it has that name.
You know, you can watch baseball with Bambi and Peaches while you enjoy your hot dog, you know.
Oh, wow, that's...
Chicks do dig the long ball.
They do enjoy the long ball at the Atlanta complex.
You know, it's part of me because my dad used to go to Crosley Field up in Cincinnati.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And he would skip school and there would be a hole in the left center fence and he would go watch ball games, you know, during school days.
For some reason.
And it was just a wonderful thing. Yeah, it wasn't quite Porky's, but it was getting close. And he used to talk about the romanticism of what those ballparks like, and I really, you know, we always talk about the Rickwood Classic when you've got a chance to go out there and see how the ball players used to play in wool suits and playing in amazing heat and not all the money, and all of a sudden you guys are telling me like some of the ballparks down there in Florida and out in Phoenix are almost as nice as Major League Baseball parks.
They are a miniature version, but they are really super nice. And you mentioned Crosley Field. The coolest thing about Crosley Field was the terrace on for the warning track. You had to run uphill to catch a ball right at the wall.
Sure did. Yeah, little Houston Astros outfield. Yeah, that would trip some guys up pretty big. But my dad used to tell me some great stories about seeing Al Michaels, of course, calling ball games, and Marty and Joe getting out there, and he used to talk about just how romantic it was to smell it and heal it and feel it and everything else, and all of a sudden everything's just gotten so big and so large. So what's the Atlanta Braves going to look like this year? Obviously a very disappointing year, I know.
Very disappointing.
You live and die by your Atlanta Braves, but was it an anomaly or what?
Yeah, it was. Everything could possibly go wrong went wrong last year. Crippling injuries to the pitching staff. They did not finish the season with a single guy in their original five-man rotation, which is kind of astounding. A lot of big injuries, but Legend and I saw them 2 days in a row. We saw them against the Baltimore Orioles in Sarasota, and they just brought all the B-League guys.
You got to see your O's. Good.
Yeah, he saw them 2 days in a row.
That's awesome.
We're going to have highlights of that coming up. But also when we went to the Braves complex the next day, they had the regular lineup in, and it's scary. Top to bottom, it's as good as just about anybody's.
It always has been, man. I mean, if they can stay healthy.
Acuna, Matt Olson hit one so far, it left the building. It went out of the stadium.
Really?
It may have come down just about now out on I-75 somewhere.
I'm looking forward to some Major League Baseball.
Oh, I know. We didn't get to see your Reds. The Reds used to train over that way, but now they've moved.
Clearwater they used to play? I think it was Clearwater.
Yeah, just right in the Tampa Clearwater area, yeah. For years, because Pete Rose, as soon as he came out of the game, he was right to the dog track.
Head to the track.
That's where I met him the first time.
Absolutely, down there in Florida. They got some great tracks down
I think the Reds are on the East Coast now of Florida.
Also, while you were gone, we had some March Madness. Of course, the Alabama Crimson Tide right now sniffing about a 4 or 5 seed. How you liking your Tide here? The Bediako situation is still alive and well, but it appears he may be dead in the water for now.
You've won 7 in a row, Legend. Are you going to tell Bediako South Alabama might take you?
Yeah, I'm finally getting in here. So, but you know, I like this Alabama team. I really do. You know, I really think.
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit last week. You know how that changes. If you're talking about one player on a football team, you're talking 1 out of 11. When you change a basketball player, you're talking 20% of your team. And I can't imagine some of the guys in the locker room saying, "Hey, listen, is he going to play or not?" If he's going to play, great. Let's start doing some. You know, I think he averaged 10, 4, and 2. But for the most part, this basketball team, I think you said it right. I think that Alabama actually had a better chemistry without him in it than they did with him in it.
Kind of a distraction. Legend, you said it a couple weeks ago. You said 2 things. You said, number one, I like the flow and the adjustments they made since Bediako's been gone. And you kind of boldly predicted at that point where Lenardi had them on the 7th or 8th eighth line. You said you felt like this team could be a 3 before it's all over, and looks like you're on the right path.
Yeah, I think Tony Curry kind of said I was wrong on that.
He might have scoffed at you a little.
Replay. I'm just kidding. Me and Tony.
No, man,
Me and Tony's always picking at each other.
No, that's well, the season's not over yet.
Yeah, you're right.
You're right. We still got a week to go.
But I do like this team, Tony. I said then, and I stick by it now, this team needed an edge, and the Bediako situation gave Alabama a chip on their shoulders that they didn't have before the Bediako, kind of us against the world. I remember Holiday saying after the first win of this winning streak, we wasn't going to lose again.
Yep.
And he's won 7 straight.
So who's really stepped up, in your opinion, in these last 7-game winning streak?
Well, Aiden Sorrell, I mean, finally he's not shooting threes. He's living in the paint. You know, somebody finally told him that he's 6'10", 260.
6'10", get a little closer to the basket.
Get a little closer to the basket, you know. But I also like the fact, you know, March is all about the guards, and Alabama has guards and spades on this team. They have it up and down the lineup. Amari Allen is turning into a primetime player. Phylon and Holiday is as good as you get in the country from the point guard position. This Alabama team has turned a corner and is definitely a threat. I would not want to play them in the madness.
Right now, 11 teams in the SEC, probably 10 getting in. I know Georgia's sitting around a 10 seed. Auburn, yes or no? Do they make it in?
Yeah, I don't know. I have to look what's down the stretch
Right
here.
now they're a 10 seed, according to Joe Lenardi. They're right there on the cusp, but firmly on the bubble.
And I know Oklahoma's right on the edge, too.
Yeah, but that was an impressive win against Kentucky. And again, Kentucky, this is like John Calipari's Kentucky squad all over again. I mean, I cannot put my finger on, every time I start thinking this basketball team is going to start playing really well and run off 5 or 6 in a row, they throw a dud like they did against the Auburn Tigers. Nothing against the Auburn Tigers. They deserve to win that basketball game. But then to see them come back 2 nights later and lose to Oklahoma, again, you always mention it's the hardest home field advantage in all sports is college basketball, which, by the way, makes it even more miraculous that the UAB Blazers get it done at Memphis.
Oh, that's surprising.
For a team that's got to win the conference tournament. We thought getting out of Conference USA, because it was a one-bid league, may actually lend itself to maybe 2 or 3 teams getting in from the AAC. It looks like it may be a one-bid league getting in the AAC, but right now, those UAB Blazers are going to have to win out and win their conference tournament.
And the tournament's right here in Birmingham.
Starts March 10th, so get down there and support your UAB Blazers. And if someone could tell the Blazers, hey, you're not playing at Bartow, so you're actually playing on the road, maybe they will continue
in the BJCC.
Maybe they will continue to win.
We were down there for the Alabama-Arizona game earlier, Legend. I was impressed with the arena. Tony had told us it was really nice after the renovation. It was top shelf.
Yeah, it was top shelf. Alabama was just bottom shelf.
Yeah,
got beat by 30 by Arizona that night.
Yeah, that was not a good night for the Tide.
Arizona is head and shoulders above a lot. Michigan, obviously, it was very, very good.
Boy, the Duke game last Saturday was a barn burner.
Yeah, took care of them. And, man, what a role did Houston have where they had to play back-to-back top 5 teams. They lose all 3 of those games.
Nightmare.
But still sitting there right outside of 1 seed with a 2 seed. So, man, I'm ready to start filling out some brackets and start ready to get after some March Madness, man. I'm fired up. It's going to be a fantastic season. And we're going to be covering it. Of course, right around the corner, we have race season, Triple Crown coming up right around the corner.
Oh, yeah, the Derby's just 8 weeks away.
8 weeks away.
Starting to get dramatic already. Legend and I did happen to stroll into the horse track for a couple days down in Tampa.
I'll bet you did.
They didn't treat us very kindly. We had some 4-legged abuse.
Give me a horse right now that you think is going to be showing up for the Kentucky Derby. That you I know you got 8 weeks. I know that this doesn't mean anything, but what's a horse you're hearing about, you're reading about, everyone's like, wow, this horse can make something happen here?
I don't know. There was a horse named Ted Naffy who was really good, but he's on the shelf right now, hurt. That was kind of my lean. So it's still kind of wide open for me. I hope I get where I was last year. If you watch the starting lineup, I told you for weeks leading up to Derby, Sovereignty was the horse, not Journalism. We were right 100% on that. Sovereignty would have won the Triple Crown had he not skipped the Preakness. And but yeah, Journalism was the big favorite. We told you right here on the show, Sovereignty was the man. So pay attention as we get closer to the Derby.
Chief editor of the Las Vegas Sun, Case Keefer, is going going to be off today. I know he's on vacation. He deserves to take a couple weeks off. The season
he's down in Florida now.
He was on fire. We'll give him a couple weeks off. He'll be back next week. And, of course, we're going to go to Legends Cave. We're going to have Terry on. We're going to be doing a Kip perspective. We're going to do it all right here on the starting lineup. We welcome you in.
Welcome, everybody, to the Birmingham Racecourse Casino starting lineup. Kip Keefer reporting not from Las Vegas, but you might think. I was there a few weeks ago and we had some starting lineup segments. Nope, not in Sin City, not out in the desert. I spend a lot of time there, of course, because my son Case, one of the stars of the starting lineup, is the editor of the sports department of the Las Vegas Sun. Both my grandchildren are there. But I'm not in Vegas today. I am right off I-459 at Derby Parkway in good old Birmingham. This is what you have available to you right here in your hometown, the most exciting gaming facility, frankly, that I've seen in quite some time. I spend a lot of time in Vegas. I've been in all the major casinos, but as far as the gaming floor, the sights, the sounds, the visuals, this is an outstanding setup, as good as any place I've been in the gaming business in my long career doing racing and gaming. So I've got a lot of people telling me that knows I've been associated with this for many, many years, that, well, I haven't been out there in a long time. If you haven't been out here, well, you haven't been out here, period, because it's a total transition, a transformation to a brand new kind of entertainment, and they have done a world-class job. This is as good as it gets. Outstanding, big jackpots, chance for life-changing money, just a great night in excitement with all the lights and bells and whistles that come with it. It's like being in Vegas without even having to leave the city limits. Absolutely outstanding. And this is just the beginning. A world-class resort just down the road in the plans, including quality high-rise accommodations in terms of a hotel, great food options, entertainment facilities that will take care of concerts and different shows of all kinds. Even a big thing in Alabama, sports betting may be coming soon here on a legal basis. It's going to be fantastic. So much to be excited about in the future. But the great news is right now, 7 days a week, day and night, you can be out here and enjoy this world-class entertainment. And just look around. There's so many places to check out, so many different kinds of machines. It's just absolutely phenomenal. If you haven't been out here yet, make a point to get out and see us. Again, right off 459, Derby Parkway is the spot. The Birmingham Racecourse Casino. We're going to be doing a lot of great shows from here for the starting lineup, and we are proud to be associated with such a fantastic group who really knows how to put on the show and give you the ultimate night of entertainment.
Hey, welcome to the Legend Cave, where only the legends hang out. I got two of the great Birmingham legends here with me today, Kip Keefer and Tony Curry. And as always, we are talking about Alabama, baby. It's Alabama 24/7. As I came in the Legend Cave back behind me here, Bear said, I heard y'all talking about hockey. No hockey. Our Bear's coming off the statue back there going crazy. But, Tony, Kip, I got to know, this Alabama basketball team on a 7-game winning streak. Tony, you didn't think it was going to happen. What's your impressions now? What Nate Oates is doing?
Well, we still got a few ball games left, and you know what they usually looked at is the last 10, right? When you're 8-2, 9-1, your last 10, man, that would certainly bode well for this Crimson Tide team. They're finally getting together, and I'm kind of glad the Bodiaco situation is over with, hopefully for good. Stay away, because the program is playing really well without him. This is a team that can make it to a Sweet 16, maybe an Elite 8 without a Bodiaco, just because they have so much talent if they're hitting the threes, and of course they got some big guys down low too that can still use it as well.
Kip, you know, Nate Oates said, I can't look Bediako in the eye telling me can't play. What would Nate Oates tell Bediako now if he came back, since they're 7-0 without Bediako?
It's, Mississippi State's about 60 miles west from here, Bediako. We've won a bunch in a row. Bediako's lawyers this week filed suit in the Alabama Supreme Court to try and get a reversal of the decision in Tuscaloosa. And I looked at the calendar. I think they're going to hear that case in about 2029. So I don't know what the Alabama situation is going to be then when Bediako is 40, but we'll find out, because I think that's a desperate move that's absolutely ridiculous, because right now, why would Alabama even want him back?
Tony, the whole talk this week on the internet, on the show here, all over the nation, is about the NCAA. Do you see the NCAA finally clamping down and bringing some law and order to college sports?
I'd like to see somebody bring some law and order to sports. I don't know if that's Nick Saban as the commissioner. I don't know if that's the NCAA, but someone's got to be overseeing this mess that's been created so far in college football. This goes beyond football. It goes beyond basketball now. It's going to women's soccer. It's going to beach volleyball. People are complaining about beach volleyball. I mean, it's gotten out of control because everyone wants a piece of the action. They're going to have to figure something out because there's some cheating going on, my friend. But if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Yeah, that's right.
Kip, our former assistant Pete Golden has broken so many laws now that they're naming laws after him. Do you see some order coming by September? In September, will we be able to say that college football actually has a sheriff in the NCAA finally?
I was looking at that article this morning about this whole infractions committee meeting, and I was surprised to see some prominent ADs on that committee. So it's not just the NCAA law enforcement guys. I think the colleges are starting to say, we got to get back involved in the process. This is the organization Tony pointed out earlier in the show. We created this organization. We need to get back and fix it because they can't fix themselves. They hired a politician, former governor of Massachusetts, Charlie Baker, to be the director. He doesn't know blank from Shinola. I don't know where Shinola is, but wherever it is, he don't know anything. Charlie Baker is just a joke in that job. They had to get some serious people back in there, and with this proposal of how to deal with this tampering, pretty big teeth on these latest proclamations.
Tony, you see a future for the NCAA and college football where finally we'll be able to say every team is on an equal playing ground, or will we continue to see a billionaire club run this organization?
Oh, I think we're going to see a billionaire club. You said the money's gotten out of control and it's already out there. You can't take it away now. It's already opened up, it's already done, and you can't pull that back. So the NCAA is going to have to deal with it. But I do think it's kind of funny the fact they're finally starting to grow some. They've actually won a little case that all of a sudden they get a little snippy. I think it's funny.
Getting a little snippy.
Legend, I'm going to ask you a question in the cave. You saw a poll. I heard you react to it. The top 10 coaches in college football, Joel Klatt, who might have a slight affiliation to the Big Ten. Joel Klatt says Ryan Day's a better coach than Kirby Smart.
Well, I can't confess that here on the Alabama Network, Keefer. I'm going to let that ride person. I'm sorry. Hey, remember, it's just a game. Don't be like the starting lineup. Sports Insane.
Welcome back, everybody, to the starting lineup. Legend and I just returning from Florida spring training run. Saw some impressive moments, Legend, and looking forward to showing them a short highlight package. What was your impressions of our trip?
I think the Braves and the Orioles are both contenders in the American and National League. I've seen two very impressive ball clubs. It was a great trip. Spring training, bucket list. It was an honor to go down there with you, Keeper.
Well, it was awesome. And if you've not been down to spring training, all these new complexes are fabulous. Here's a short highlight package. We started in Lakeland, Florida. Legend's going to give you a blow-by-blow, play-by-play of the polar bear going deep. Then we're the next day in Sarasota at the Orioles complex. Our tribute to Bob Uecker coming up. And then we get over to Northport, Florida, the Braves' new complex, and we set the scene for you there. So enjoy a short look at Legend and I's trip to spring training.
Coming live from the Braves game with Kip Keefer. Kip, how you see the Braves this year?
Man, I think the Braves have a real big shot. Was glad to see Las Vegas thinks they're the second favorite to win the series, so I'm not the only one high on them.
I see they're the 8th ranked team in the power rankings. Do you think that's about right? 7 teams in front of them. Do you see the Braves making a serious run this year to a World Series?
Well, the starting lineup is certainly good enough right here on the starting lineup. It's the pitching, like always, that's going to tell the story, but got the main man, Chris Sale, back for another year, so go Braves. How about it?
What do you think about the new manager, Walt Wise? How you think he'll fit in with Atlanta?
Did a good job with the Rockies while he was there till talent got a little thin. But, the great thing about spring training, Legend, is everybody's tied for first place, and you and I are in first place. Look at this ballpark and look at this glorious day here. This is absolutely phenomenal.
Coming to you live from spring training, the starting lineup. Never know where we might show up. We're doing it big here with Keefer Sports. Tune in every Saturday. We might be at the NBA Finals next.
You never know you never know who's gonna be in the starting lineup, and you never know where the starting lineup's gonna be.
Pete Alonso at the plate.
I don't know. I think it bounced.
Long fly ball. Way back. Way back. One gone! The Polar Bear with his second home run of the spring. MVP! MVP! Polar Bear! Thank you, Mets! Thank you, New York! Polar Bear! MVP, baby! MVP right there!
You know, we're wide open here at the starting lineup, man. We're all about the money, and of course, we have the best time on television, period, during college football season because we butt up right against the ABC SEC game of the week. We're talking Georgia, Clemson. We're talking big games. We're not talking about those duds you get in the Big Ten. We're talking major action at 11 o'clock, 2:30, 6:30. We butt right up against it. You're not going to start watching college football at 11 o'clock. You watch at 10:30 right here in the starting lineup. And we couldn't do without our sponsors. The Woodhouse Day Spa, birmingham.woodhousespas.com. birmingham.woodhousespas.com. The Woodhouse Day Spa is fantastic for weddings, for Valentine's Day we just had. Mother's Day is coming up. Check out the Woodhouse Day Spa. And, of course, our fine folks at Sasquatch Toys and Comics. Sasquatch Toys and Comics, over 300,000 comics down there in Homewood. And our little site where you can make some cash, maybe even on some horses. Getting ready for the Derby coming up here shortly. K4wins.com. K4wins.com. I do have to ask the question, room service, did it ever happen? What happened? And did we watch any late night movies together? Spectravision? No.
Do they have that still?
You're the only freak on the set, Tony. You're the only freak on the set.
Legend.
Who ordered
Legend could call me.
the sugar nuts and the Da Vinci load? What the heck's going on here?
Legend did have to report to my room because it's this computerized TV stuff. You don't just turn it on and change the channels. You've got to select from all this nonsense. I was completely lost.
Well, I figured you guys were going to have a good time. I kind of wish I could have been a fly on the wall or a fly in between the walls, certainly for that. That would have been good.
We were absolutely absolutely on our best behavior because our agenda was so active, we were exhausted by 7 o'clock.
Yeah, we was in bed by 8 o'clock. It was
That is pathetic, man.
We were going hard.
oh man, you know.
But we came back with merch. Look at Legend; he's all decked out. And look at this for my grandson King. Yeah, hold that up, Legend. Let him see it.
Check that out.
Oh, that is fantastic.
And check out the back.
That is going to be, he's got absolutely.
Look at that.
King Keefer, y'all remember the name because he is going to be a Hall of Fame player one day for the Atlanta Braves.
So we came back with merch. We're all set.
Hey, it's never too early to talk about college football around here, and Golding seems to be having a little bit of an issue. The NCAA got themselves a big victory a couple of weeks ago, and of course they said that a couple players actually couldn't come back and play some college football because they're going to, well, first of all, they're going to make $3 million a piece. We know why they wanted to come back. So they're starting to grow a couple, if you will, and they continue to grow, my friend.
Legend, are you surprised your boy Pete Golding has been a head coach for 2 games and he's already in big trouble?
Well, you know, Pete just needed a little learning curve.
Oh, yeah. He's going to get a big one of like 6 weeks off if the NCAA has their way. Yesterday, the infractions committee had a meeting and said, look, this out of portal stuff, contacting guys, it was already against the rules to do that. But now in this era, it's like a capital offense because they've shortened the window where you can transfer to just a limited time. And Pete Golding went beyond that got a guy who had already officially transferred. He was sitting in class and he's texting him directly.
Yeah.
I mean, that is the most grievous foul you can possibly imagine. The NCAA has recommended 6 weeks suspension during the year. All football-related activity, you're not part of it, even if you're the head coach. A 20% fine based on the revenues from your program that year, which a lot of programs are losing money, so maybe the NCAA have to pay them.
True.
But the other one is you only get 5 less roster spots. So if you could dress 60 for a home game, if you're found guilty in one of these infractions, you might only be able to dress 55. That's some pretty severe penalties. So Pete Golding, that rule may be forever be known as the Golding rule.
I remember we couldn't put cream cheese on a biscuit.
Yeah,
You could
that
get
was
the
that was an extra
You could get the
incentive.
biscuit, but you could put cream cheese on it. That was an actual rule, which is kind of crazy. Yeah, and I think everyone's kind of enjoying the fact that we are having the Wild Wild West, and there's going to be an envelope being pushed here by a lot of different guys, and we're certainly seeing that. I saw something really interesting in the USA Today a couple days ago about there's one word or 2 words a lot of people aren't even talking about that can really hone in on this NIL transfer portal stuff, and that is academic eligibility.
Yeah.
There's a lot of kids out there right now that we ain't going to college to learn, kids. We're going to make some serious bucks, and I don't doubt it. I don't get it. But if you really want to hone in on somebody, you better make damn sure those kids are going to class, or else they're not going to be playing football for anybody, regardless of where they want to transfer to.
Yeah, because right now, that's a joke. I told you, a caller to a show recently said, what are the academic requirements to qualify for NIL? And I laughed out loud. I said, there's none. Ask Carson Beck. He was just a contract laborer there. So, I mean, this is the things we've talked about endlessly, Legend, about they just started this with no rules, no planning. They fought it right to the last minute. They didn't prepare for it, and that's why we have the Wild Wild West.
Well, the NCAA has been impotent for years. They finally went to the Alabama Men's Center. They got them an erection, and now they are full of themselves. Now they want to make some rules. I say it's 20 years too late. Have a reality check, sit down, and shut up. Nobody's listening.
Well, the truth of the matter is there needs to be someone overlooking what's going on in this sport known as college
Somebody needs to be in
football.
charge.
The NCAA used to be that, and let's remember, the NCAA didn't exist until the schools decided to create. The
Absolutely.
NCAA is the schools, okay? For the schools to sit there and slam the NCAA is basically to slam yourself. You can't do that. Now the Big Ten, the SEC has run the show. We're all sitting back going, okay, Greg Sankey, tell me, how are we going to fix this? What are we going to do? Total autonomy of those 2 conferences. They've only got a short period of time to fix it. Man, we're going to be back into the college football season here before too long, and they've got to make it right. But unfortunately, the toothpaste is out of the tube.
That's and you're so on point with that because. And the ridiculous thing is, when you get these lawsuits for these players trying to get extra eligibility and everything else, it's the schools involved in that as well who are suing the organization that they created to violate their rules. So it's just insanity. Like Legend keeps saying, it's the Wild Wild West.
I got a friend of mine that's been going through a divorce for 7 years. He's like, how the hell is it taking me 7 years to get a divorce, and these guys are getting an attorney? They're getting into court like the next day. Hey, we need to see a judge about this. Can he been a player? Yeah, so next thing you know.
So you know.
All right, have yourself a wonderful weekend. We really enjoy everyone watching here. Our numbers.
A lot of good hoops coming up today. Check it out.
Yeah, fantastic day of college hoops, and of course March Madness right around the corner. For Kip Keefer, the Legend, for Case, for Terry, the old crew, I'm Tony Curry. Thanks for watching the starting lineup.
The starting lineup: Kip Keefer, Tony Curry, the Legend, and Case Keefer bring it every week.
The coaches don't like what's going on.
Fellas, wow.